Hello everyone, Darcenovia here. In case you're wondering why I'm wearing the same clothes as my last review, well, I recorded them one after another. I figured, fuck it, let's get it over with. So I don't have to worry about it later. So this time, I'm going to review a classic written by Frank Miller, Daredevil, The Man Without Fear. This is considered one of the greatest Daredevil stories of all time. Not to mention, if you've seen the Daredevil TV show, which is on Netflix, this comic is basically the biggest inspiration. And think of this as Marvel's equivalent of Batman Year One, except much better. And it gives you the origin of Matt Murdock and why he became Daredevil. Even some things about his relationship with Elektra, and even some things on the Kingpin. Now, you don't see him as Daredevil in this comic until the very end. I don't want to give out spoilers. Now, it was hard to believe, but this is actually a 90s comic, because from the artwork, it looks like something from the 80s. But the art is really good. It really is. Now, I consider this one of the greatest comics ever written. You know, this comic is really good in the sense that not only does it feel like a comic, it also feels like a novel at the same time. And I don't know if you know this, but this also has a novelization, which was released this year. The art is really good. I know I say that a lot in my reviews. However, it fits perfectly. I think the more realistic art style works great with Daredevil. And to be honest, I want to read more. This is my first Daredevil comic that I've read, and I seek to read more. And holy shit. I don't want to get too much away of the story, but it's an origin story of Daredevil. And everything that led up to him becoming Daredevil. And you get to learn about his childhood, which, if you watch the TV series, it takes stuff from this. It's amazing how well that show follows this comic. Though I'll talk about the TV series at a later date. Now, since I don't want to give too much away, because I think people should read this comic themselves. This is a great origin story, one of the greatest comics of all time, and probably one of Frank Miller's best works. I give this a masterpiece rating. I think it's a great comic. If you're looking to get into Daredevil, pick it up. If you're a comic book enthusiast and you just want to read some of the best that comics have to offer, or you're a Frank Miller fan and you want to read everything, which I don't understand if you're a fan of Frank Miller why you have not read The Man Without Fear. Read this. It's really good. It's one of Marvel's best comics of all time, in my opinion. I would rank it up there with the Dark Phoenix saga and the Death of Gwen Stacy. This would be very high on the list. To be honest, I actually think this is the best Marvel comic I've ever read so far, because I think the story is really good, the art is amazing, and it makes I couldn't stop turning the page every time I read it. This basically made me want to read more. I couldn't put it down. This is a sign of a good comic, and this is perhaps one of my favorite comics I've ever read. If you want to read something good by Frank Miller before his comics turn to complete shit, read this. This comic is amazing. It really is. Read it. You won't regret it. This is Darcenovia over and out. Next time I review a comic, I will review The Flash. Later.